Hey everybody, welcome to the UWF Fury Cast. I'm your host, Gene Jackson, here once again to dive into the wild world of Herb Abrams Universal Wrestling Federation. We are up to episode 18 of the UWF Fury Hour. That's right, we have done this show for 18 weeks. This one, of course, is taped at the legendary Penta Hotel, or at least that's what Herb Abrams would have you believe, that the Penta Hotel is legendary. In the heart of New York City, as its claim to fame is, it's across the street from Madison Square Garden, the legendary arena that has housed so many important and historical wrestling matches. And now a new chapter in history is being written across the street at the Penta Hotel. Craig DeGeorge and the living legend Bruno Sammartino are back here with us, hosting the show, as well as doing commentary. They're getting us hyped up for a night full of action. Newcomers, Sonny Beach is going to be taking on Cowboy Bob Orton with John Tolos. The continuation of Don Morocco's war with Cactus Jack from a few weeks ago. And a whole lot of other random chaos in between. Let me tell you, if you've ever wanted to see Carmine Albano, the nephew of Captain Lou, allegedly, nearly break his neck on national TV, well, you've come to the right place because it just might happen this week on the Fury Cast. So, Craig DeGeorge kicks things off running down the card with Bruno. They tease that Bob Orton versus Sonny Beach is going to be a big match here today, and Bruno reminds us that Orton knows every dirty trick in the book. He talks up Orton's veteran savvy and admits that Sonny is big and strong and talented, but he's going to have to be able to withstand the rule breaking of Bob Orton. Then they hype the main event, Don the Rock Morocco taking on the psychotic Cactus Jack, as they say. Bruno reminds everyone that the last time these two met, Morocco left Cactus in a bloody mess, and this time Cactus has promised it'll be Morocco who's the one doing the bleeding. So right out of the gate, they're setting us up for some violence, some blood, some chaos. And for the first time that I can remember in 18 episodes of the Fury Hour, someone else does the voiceover running down the lineup for this show this week. No Herb Abrams. He still appears at ringside and does the ringside interviews and everything. But for whatever reason, I guess he wasn't available to do the voiceovers for the pre-tape. So that sounded odd. But anyway, Herb may not be here at the beginning, but Bruno's here, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else in the world. Craig DeGeorge is grinning like a little kid at the circus. So we're all set to get another wild and woolly episode of the Fury Hour going. So let's head to the ring. It's going to be Steve the Wild Thing Ray going against newcomer Carmine Albano, who is allegedly the nephew of Captain Lou. I don't know. So the Wild Thing comes out waving the American flag to loud cheers. He's coming out to his Wild Thing theme song. He's colorful. He's decked out in his flashy jacket. He's full of energy. Bruno jokes that Steve Ray must have borrowed Craig's tights, as if Craig had ever wrestled, while Craig insists that Bruno used to wear gear just as bright and colorful, which Bruno seems to take kind of seriously as he quickly shuts Craig down, reminding him the only colors he ever wore were black, blue, and green. That's right, Bruno. Don't let anybody ever try to convince us that you wore any wild or fun colors back in the day. Carmine Albano making his debut. He's about 260 pounds. He's slightly larger than Steve Ray, but they're close in size. The commentary team points out Carmine's family connection to Captain Lou, though his ring gear looks more like something Bruno would have wore back in the day. He's pretty tame to be an Albano, but the early going's pretty slow. Both men are circling each other. They're testing each other out. The crowd rallies behind Steve Ray, who really plays it up, constantly engaging the fans. Bruno notes that Ray always knows how to get the audience involved, even when he's taking punishment. The first real action comes when Ray tries for a hip toss. Carmine tries to counter, but ultimately ends up landing almost directly on his head. Despite his attempt to block, he nearly kills himself. Bruno calls it out. He mentions that Albano's inexperience turned defense into self-destruction. Good call, Bruno. Albano fights back, though briefly. tripping Ray and locking on an armbar, but Bruno critiques his technique of applying the armbar, pointing out that he's standing upright instead of applying proper pressure, leaving himself open, which Ray quickly counters, catching Albano's kick attempt and leveling him with a clothesline. Moments later, Ray climbs the top rope and comes crashing down with a flying body press, scoring the 3 count for the win. Afterwards, Herb Abrams storms into the ring for a post-match interview. Steve Ray, out of breath, cuts a promo thanking the fans for making him who he is, whoever that is exactly. He says, "It's party time, baby. The fans are the ones who made me, not me. They're the ones who keep me going, and I'll keep giving them everything I've got." Ray closes by dedicating his effort to the U.S. troops fighting in the Persian Gulf, echoing the patriotic theme of his entrance. So at least we're tying things together there. So Steve Ray picks up another win, and once again, he's doing the whole wild thing, party time, I love the fan shtick. Carmine Albano didn't exactly impress. His biggest highlight was nearly killing himself, dropping himself on his head. But the crowd ate up Steve Ray, waving the flag and shouting out the troops. Herb Abrams made sure to get a plug-in for our Support the Troops t-shirt, which, of course, involves you mailing $15 straight to Herb in Marina Del Rey, California, and then actually hoping and praying you get the t-shirt. As far as the opening matches go, it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. It was UWF, which means lower your expectations and just enjoy the ride. Next up, we get a true sight to behold. It's Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff taking on the Beast. Now, let me paint you a picture. The Beast comes out wearing a ridiculous-looking mask. It looks like the cheap hockey mask type thing you buy at, Kmart or somewhere at Halloween time. He looks like a cross between a bargain bin Viking and a rejected Mortal Kombat character or something. Maybe your cousin who got kicked out of his heavy metal band. The announcers are openly confused. Bruno cracks that he's not even sure the guy can wrestle in this crap that he's wearing. Craig compares him to a hockey goalie. Not exactly the credibility boost you want in your debut. But I don't think we're really here to get the Beast over. Orndorff, on the other hand, looks fantastic. He's jacked. He's intense. He's all business. He's a man who still carries himself like he belongs in a main event in the WWF. And perhaps he does. But even though Herb Abrams was a guy who, looks like he should be in line for a WWF main event. But anyway, bell rings. Orndorff immediately takes control. He hits a picture-perfect drop kick, then follows that up with some quick arm drags in succession. Bruno points out how fast Orndorff is. Every time he lands a move, he's already on his feet, ready with the next one, not giving the Beast a chance to recover. It's a veteran performance on behalf of Mr. Wonderful, he says. The Beast tries to slow things down, rolling outside the ring and then sneaking back in with some questionable offense, a chokehold, a few clubbing blows, and even some goofy intimidation tactics. Craig and Bruno are openly mocking the Beast while Orndorff shrugs it all off. After absorbing a little punishment, Orndorff rallies back. He lands another big clothesline, and then he hoists the Beast up and drives him straight down to the mat with his trademark pile driver. Just like that, it's over. 1, 2, 3. Nobody other than maybe Jerry Lawler executes a pile driver better than Paul, Mr. Wonderful Orndorff. And this was another fine example. Once again, Herb hustles down to ringside to interview Orndorff. He asks if it's difficult to stay focused on other matches like this when he's got this big lumberjack match coming up against Dr. Death Steve Williams. Orndorff, in a typical intense, fiery promo delivery he has, says, anytime I step in the ring, my attitude is the same. That man is trying to beat me. He's trying to hurt me, and I'm not going to give him the chance. And yes, I'm looking forward to that lumberjack match with Steve Williams. It doesn't matter if he's in the hotel, Madison Square Garden, the parking lot, anywhere. I'm tired of waiting. It's time to end your career. Crowd pops, and Mr. Wonderful storms off, looking like he's ready to fight Dr. Death right here and now. And that match was basically a showcase of Paul Orndorff, and it worked. He looked good here, even though he's wrestling a goof in a Halloween mask. He still executed a devastating pile driver. And after hearing his words after the match, I'm convinced that, yes, he is indeed more than ready to take on Dr. Death Steve Williams in any kind of match that Herb Abrams would throw at him. And in the meantime, if he has to beat up a cosplaying Minotaur, then so be it. We hear from Dr. Death Steve Williams. who echoes the same sentiments as Orndorff. He's ready. He's ready to fight again. It's time to end this. Pretty the same sentiments we heard from Orndorff. We just heard it from Steve Williams, whose delivery, let's just say, Steve's better at saying things in the ring than he is in a promo. But we'll get those two together soon enough, I'm sure. So now it's time for Captain Lou's Corner with Don Morocco. After Orndorff's big win, it's time for another weekly dose of chaos from Captain Lou's Corner. And boy, with Don Morocco here, I can only imagine what we're in for tonight. But as has become tradition here on the Fury Cast, I'm going to let you listen to this one for yourselves. So check out the madness that is Captain Lou's Corner.
Hi there, wrestling fans. This is Captain Lou Albano back again this week with my segment of the Captain's Corner. And this week I have one of the greats in the world of professional wrestling, a man that I managed in the past, Don Morocco. Big Don, how are you? I like the shirt. I'd like to ask you a question,
right,
Big Don. What do you think about the world situation today and what's going on with certain wrestling organizations capitalizing on our boys over there fighting? What do you think about it, Don?
You know, Cap, you and I have been the same. We've always been crazy. We've always done whatever we wanted to do in professional wrestling. But as we know now, professional wrestling, like everything else, is entertainment. Professional wrestling is a great sport. But what's going on now? Our boys need the support. We don't need mockeries being made of people. We don't need jokes being going on. We need to throw our backbone into our troops, our backbone into our person. No support, no so goofy. Some goofy guy masquerading as an Iraqi. No guy, no turncoat Marine. We don't need none of those. We need Americans. We need Americans sticking together. We need Americans trying to fight. We don't need no ex. He's an American. No ex jarhead burning no flag. We don't need no ex goof. We're Americans. Putting down the United States. We are number one. We're showing everybody who's number one. We're going right to the top. We're staying strong. We're staying free. We're staying number one. I'm staying with the captain. You're with the captain. UWF and the troops and overseas all together.
What we're trying to say, baby, is that the UWF with Captain Lou Albano and Don Morocco, we're true Americans. We're with you all the way, troops. Baby, we're backing you. Be with the troops. Don't make a mockery out of what's going on with the world.
Reality is reality.
Stay with it, baby. Captain Lou all the way. USA, our troops. Whoa. America, move. We love you. Woo!
Well, there you have it. Another shouting, insane version of Captain Lou's Corner. But here's the thing. For all the insanity that usually comes with Captain Lou's Corner, this one actually wasn't bad. No silly skits or comedy distractions. It's just Morocco and Lou standing up and delivering a real promo about America and the Gulf War. I mean, was it corny? Absolutely. But did it feel authentic? 100%. Don Morocco looked like he meant every word, and Albano, as goofy as he was, managed to keep it serious enough to get the point across. This is one of those rare UWF moments that didn't make you roll your eyes. You know, for a minute there, they actually came off like stars in a promotion and not just a Herb Abrams fever dream, if you will. But of course, don't worry, there's still plenty of chaos to go as we get ready to head back to the ring. And we see the man with the tan, as they call him, the surfer himself, Sonny Beach, taking on the veteran Cowboy Bob Orton with his manager, the Golden Greek, John Tolos. So Craig and Bruno framed this as the ultimate test for Sonny Beach. Orton is a second-generation star. He's a technical expert in the ring, but his tactics are, quote, dirty as hell. Add in Tolos at ringside, and Sonny's not just fighting Orton, he's basically fighting a 2-on-1 battle. The bell rings, and sure enough, Orton goes straight to his bag of tricks. He bites at Sonny's arm, rakes his eyes, starts grinding him down. Tolos is blowing the whistle at ringside, jawing with the fans, doing everything he can to distract from the match. Sonny fires back with a nice reversal. He even hits a clean hip toss that sends Orton sprawling. Bruno praises the move, but warns Sonny not to get cocky. Orton's the type who'll play possum, and sure enough, he'll strike when you least expect it. That's what happens. The second Sonny gave him some space, Orton is right back in control. From there, it's classic Orton. He's working holds. He's grinding Sonny's face into the mat. He's sneaking in cheap shots behind the referee's back whenever he can. At one point, he even lines Sonny up so when he snaps him backwards, Sonny's head whiplashes against the bottom rope. Bruno points that out. This is exactly why Orton is so dangerous. He knows every inch of that ring and he knows how to use it to hurt people. And this is one thing I'm liking better. You had all of Herb's nonsense when he was on commentary, but, Bruno and Craig are at least trying to call this like a serious wrestling match, and Bruno's using his experience to point out little factors like that. So, people can be critical and say what they want, but I don't hate the combo of Craig DeGeorge and Bruno on commentary here. But anyway, back to the match. Tolos is in rare form. He's circling around the ring. He's getting right up in Sonny's face every chance he gets. He's blowing the whistle. He's distracting the referee. Bruno is shredding him on commentary, but it doesn't matter. Sonny's fighting both guys the entire time, holding his own. The crowd rallies behind Sonny, chanting his name. He does fight back with a backbreaker. He gets some momentum going, but Orton shuts it right back down with a knee, boots to the head, and another cheap shot while the ref's tied up with Tolos. Finally, things break down just completely. Tolos climbs up on the apron. Sonny's had enough, but before he can act, Steve, the Wild Thing Ray, charges right into the ring to even the odds. The place erupts as Ray goes after Tolos, but here comes Cactus Jack out of nowhere. Cactus blindsides Steve Ray, clawing at his face, biting him, scraping him with his nails. Orton joins in, and suddenly it's a full-on mugging. Sonny's down, Steve Ray's getting mauled, and it looks like the UWF's two bright-eyed young baby faces are about to get absolutely demolished here. But somehow, Sonny and Steve rally back. Sonny fights Orton off. Ray throws punches at Cactus for a moment, and the fans think that maybe, just maybe, the good guys are going to stand tall. Both sides brawl until the referee throws it out. Officially, Orton wins the match by DQ due to outside interference, but no one in the building even cares at this point. After the match, Herb runs to ringside. John Tolos is there with Orton and a man who's apparently his newest addition to his stable, Cactus Jack. Let's hear from John Tolos and see exactly what's going on with this trio.
John Tolos, have you just got the contract on Cactus Jack? What's going on over here? I got the contract on Cactus Jack, and I got the contract on Big Bob Orton. I got nothing but the greatest wrestlers in my stable, and you people see that tonight. And this is only the beginning, because I am only starting with my stallions. Cactus, you have just enforced the services of John Tolos, the Golden Great.
John's got me working out. My pants are no longer fitting too well. I think I need a belt. When I'm out there having my fun, beating people to a pulp, the things I like to do best, humiliate them, slap them in the face, and beat them to a pulp. And then this wild man, wild thing, whatever he thinks he is, comes running in and interfering in my business. Well, he better be ready, boy. You better be ready.
What do they call it? John, will you accept the challenge if these guys challenge you back to a tag team match?
First of all, what is this? A new team? What is it?
Will you accept the challenge from these two guys?
Let me tell you something.
Oh my! Orton is landing a shot right in the middle of the interview. And now they're going at it left to right with the chair. Orton hammering away. Wild Thing trying to turn him around. This gets very dangerous out in the ring, which is really the home of these guys, Cactus Jack and Orton.
I wish I could break it up, but I like this because look at Tolos, and they're right where in the midst of the fence here, and that's not very wise here. I don't want to see nobody get hurt back there. Some of the fence, look, some of the fence is moving out of the way. You know, you got a lot of beef out there. These are four big men plus Tolos. Oh boy, look at this. Thing is really getting out of hand. Come on, folks, where's security here?
Security, where are the referees? Where's Dick Crow? Where's Fornini?
Look at Tolos, look at this. Now here's our manager.
Oh.
Right? I'll tell you.
Beach and Ray. Now
he's got the chair now. Let's see, who's he going to hit with it?
We'll return after these messages.
Hey guys, Ray Russell here. Lots of new stuff happening here at WrestleCopia. If you haven't checked out our website at WrestleCopia.com, it's a great way to keep up with the latest episodes of all of your favorite Copia programming, from the Wrestling Memory Grenade to Regional Wrestling with the Territory Talk, the Wrestling Stoop with the legendary Bob Roop, and of course all of those programs also available at your favorite podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to stay up to date with everything going on in the Copia world, all the latest news, random thoughts, fun videos, pictures, and more, make sure to join the more than 33,000 followers over at facebook.com/wrestlinggrenade. Don't be left out. And last but definitely not least, it's what keeps the entire machine going. I'm talking about patreon.com/WrestleCopia. We appreciate your support in helping us pay the bills to keep the WrestleCopia podcast network running and enabling us to continue to bring you all the quality programming that we offer.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, the podcast that's based on the old school but can still help you find the good stuff from today. Jimmy Street and the Plastic Sheik, Jared, are the undisputed tag team champions of the wrestling podcast world. From thought-provoking topics to superstar interviews to action figure expertise. This team does it all, and all they ask is, give me back my pro wrestling! Every other Thursday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Relive the glory days of Memphis wrestling with the Retro Wrestling Review USWA podcast. Each week, we go back in time to review USWA Championship Wrestling from the 1990s, episode by episode. Join us for watch-alongs, behind-the-scenes stories, and exclusive interviews with people who were there and lived it. Whether you grew up watching it or you're discovering it for the first time, this podcast is your ringside seat to Memphis wrestling history. It's all a part of the WrestleCopia Podcast Network. Listen now at USWApodcast.com.
Tired of the same boring wrestling podcast? Need something with attitude, chaos, and maybe just a little cussing? That's STSPod.club, and we got it all covered. We've got wrestling weirdness with WTF News Desk, 5-minute time limit, and the Southern Fried Brain of me, BT, steering the whole ship. We also have Rolling Into Mempho every week about the current Memphis wrestling. Interviews, hot takes, and wrestling outrageousness so wild it might get you banned in 12 states. That's right, it's SDSPod.club or search all podcast catchers for Shooting the Shiznit, where wrestling podcasts grow chest hair. Not sure what that meant. Love my mama.
So there you see, chaos breaks out again during the promo. We got a wild brawl going on. Bruno just wants it to stop. He doesn't want a fan to get hurt. So finally this thing gets resolved, or at least we go to a commercial. And this was just pure UWF chaos here, the way Herb likes it. Sonny Beach looked like he might finally get a big win, but instead the match turned into just a gang war. Bob Orton looked great in this match. He's one of the smoothest heels and cheaters there are in wrestling history. And Tolos is he's a pretty good loudmouth heel manager here. I know I've got a couple of friends that really, really don't like him. My former co-host Bob Anderson being top of that list, but I don't know. Tolos was effective here, and then with the run-ins and everything, they've managed to set up a tag team match that at least everybody in the building seemed to want to see. So we'll see how long it takes for that to come to fruition here on the Fury Hour. So now it's time for the main event. Don the Morocco, former Intercontinental Champion, taking on the Wild Man, the psychotic, the unpredictable, they say here in UWF, Cactus Jack. So this is our feature attraction of the night. Don the Rock Morocco, the big Hawaiian powerhouse, against Cactus. Craig and Bruno remind us that the last time these two met, Morocco left Cactus a bloody mess. Jack has promised revenge. He swore to this time it'd be Morocco who's doing the bleeding, and right away you can tell these two aren't going to waste any time. The bell rings and they go straight to brawling. Morocco uses his size and power, landing some big rights and heavy forearms. Cactus, true to form, just absorbs it, smiling through the pain, seemingly begging for more. It doesn't take long before the weapons come out. Cactus drags Morocco outside, grabs a garbage can, smashes it over Morocco's head. covering him in garbage. Craig and Bruno sound horrified, but Morocco fights back with a flurry, throwing Cactus into the steel chairs, pounding him with heavy shots. Back inside, Morocco locks on a sleeper hold. Bruno immediately points out that's a mistake. You can't put Cactus Jack in a sleeper. Sure enough, Cactus hooks his ankle, rolls through, and escapes. These two aren't here for wrestling holds. They're here to fight. Outside again, Cactus dives from the apron with the garbage can, flattening Morocco. Then he goes for a table, and in typical UWF fashion, the table breaks in the most awkward way possible. Morocco somehow ends up tangled up in the tablecloth, straggling around the ring like he's caught with a big giant bib on. Bruno admits he has no idea what's happening, and frankly, neither does anyone else. Back in the ring now, Morocco's ear is bleeding. And Morocco's ear is bleeding heavily. John Tolos shows up again, scratching at the wound, screaming instructions at Cactus, and doing everything short of jumping in the ring himself. Bruno complains that Tolos never stops interfering, and he's right. The man finds a way into every Morocco match. Cactus focuses on the injury, pounding Morocco's head with punches, clawing at his ear, trying to rip it open even further. Morocco, to his credit, keeps fighting back. He lands a power slam and then some hard right hands. These two just keep beating each other senseless with no pretense of a wrestling match even left. And then the bell rings. Time limit draw. Yes, folks, that's it. Our main event ends with a 10-minute time limit draw. Because in case you forgot, you're watching the UWF Fury Hour, where we may give you a wild match. We may give you a decent match. But by God, we definitely will not give you a damn finish. That is our guarantee here at the Universal Wrestling Federation. What the fuck? Thought this might be the week, folks. Thought this might be the week we finally get a finish. The main event was everything you want out of Morocco versus Cactus. It was ugly, violent, chaotic, garbage cans, tables, chairs, everything Cactus could get his hands on. Morocco's bleeding, but he kept dishing it back to him, proving he could hold his own in this type of wild brawl. Tolos gets involved. But did it end clean? Did we get a winner? Hell no, of course not. It's the UWF. 10-minute time limit draw. But the message is clear. The feud isn't over. Cactus and Morocco are going to live to fight another day. And we can only hope at some point, somewhere, somehow, someday, just once, somebody will win a fucking main event on the UWF Fury Hour. I don't know if I'll live to see it, folks, but we're going to keep watching these shows each week. God willing, one of these days it's going to happen, right? I mean, we got this Paul Orndorff Dr. Death match coming up. It's a lumberjack match. If they try to go out and get counted out, people are going to throw them back in. It's got to have a winner, right? That's going to be the one. That is going to be the one we've been waiting for. Has to be. But closing thoughts. Episode 18 was another wild one. Steve Ray waved the American flag, fired up the fans, and then beat Captain Lou's nephew. Paul Orndorff crushed a guy in a Halloween outfit and cut a money promo on Dr. Death. Don Morocco and Captain Lou gave us a surprisingly heartfelt, patriotic Captain Lou's Corner. Sonny Beach tried to hang with Bob Orton, but it turned into a gang fight in the end. And then Morocco and Cactus closed the night by bleeding, brawling, breaking furniture in the meager 10 minutes they were given to do it. The show had everything. It had goofy rookies, legit stars, patriotic promos, wild brawls in the crowd, garbage cans. Exactly why we do this podcast. All the unforgettable Herb Abrams madness that unfortunately just never delivers in the end. But that's going to do it for this week's UWF Furycast, episode 18. I'm Gene Jackson reminding you, I watch this shit so you don't have to, but if you want to, it's over on YouTube at youtube.com/@retro Wrestling Archive.